Hello, and I hope that I find you all in very good health. On this occasion, we're journeying to Nottingham, about 4 miles away from home, to visit a house with a story steeped in history, and not just local history. This is the view from the stable block over the now obliterated kitchen garden, to the former site of Bulwell Hall.
When I am far, far away, and nothing in this world seems real. When I get lost,
A very short walk to the west of the clubhouse from the car park, which is at the site previously occupied by the house, takes you past the once beautiful kitchen garden. This is now used by the council as a dumping ground and store. Once a hive of activity providing fresh produce to the inhabitants of the house. Long ago, a very proud head gardener would chivvy his staff along to provide the required veg and keep the place as pristine as any perfectionist could wish for. How things have changed.
when I can't think what to say.
Due west of this lie the ruins of Bulwell Hall's stable block.
Had too much. Don't give up now, and say you've had enough. It won't be long till I'm back in your arms again. So please be strong till I'm back in your arms again. I count the days till I'm back in your arms.
Immediately to the northwest is the now redeveloped Hucknall Airfield, where, over 2 world wars, the RFC, the USAAF and the RAF have all had bases at one time or another. Of interest is that in December 1940, Franz von Werra, the one that got away, late of Jagdgeschwader 3, landed at this then RAF base on one of his many attempts to rejoin the Luftwaffe. Here he tried to commandeer an aircraft. He was reunited with his captors instead, but this didn't stop him from trying again later. Since December of 1934, Rolls-Royce have also used this site in the development of aero engines.
When I get lost on the way, don't give up now. That would hurt too much. Don't give up now. Say you've had enough. It won't be long.
The hall itself, now long gone, used to occupy what is now the site of the Country Park Cafe and Golf Course Clubhouse. The mansion was built in 1770 by Mr. John Newton and originally referred to as Pyewipe Hall, an archaic term for lapwings, many of which could have been seen in the area. He died in 1820 and shortly afterwards his son also succumbed. The hall then passed to the Reverend Alfred Padley, John Newton's grandson. He resided here until, by 1864, Pyewipe Hall and some 1,000 acres of land had been sold at auction to Samuel Cooper.
I count the days till I'm back in your arms again. It won't be long till I'm back in your arms again. So please be strong till I'm back in your arms again. I count the days till I'm back in your arms again.
Samuel Cooper was a local philanthropist and all-round good guy. He was a wealthy businessman who had interests in Leeds Ironworks, several collieries and other businesses. He set up a school for local children. Also, he allegedly enclosed the local bogs before dying of an attack of apoplexy at the age of 39. Please stop sniggering at the back. After that, Bulwell Hall was purchased by Thomas Hardy of Heanor, who just so happened to be a founder of the Hardy Hanson Brewery, which he acquired from Samuel Robinson in 1857. The firm later, in 1930, merged with Hanson's, and in 1932 Hanson's Brewery closed and all the production was moved to the Kimberley Brewery. Thomas lived here until his death in 1897. What you see standing today are the remains of the stables, their size and sheer elegance preaching volumes as to the affluence of the hall and the families who lived there over the years. The horses kept there had far better living conditions than most of the people living in Nottingham, just a stone's throw away. Now, of course, things are much different. Gone is the hustle and bustle of a busy stable yard, and slowly, but very surely, nature is taking back what was once rightfully hers. In 1908, Alderman Albert Ball bought the hall with some of the land. He started out as a plumber, and he had risen to become the Lord Mayor of Nottingham, as you do. This particular Albert Ball had a son called Albert Ball. Some of you will, in all probability, have heard of him, but for those of you who are uninitiated, Albert Ball the Younger was a very famous fighter ace of the Entente during the Great War, with no less than 44 aerial victories to his credit. Albert the Younger was a recipient of the Victoria Cross and other lesser, but still hugely impressive medals, like the Distinguished Service Order, with 2 bars. He was the first ever recipient of 3 DSOs. The Military Cross, the Russian Order of St. Peter, and the French Chevalier de Légion d'Honneur, all of which he amassed before his tragically early death at the age of 21. The hall then continued its rather checkered life, which at various times included a country seat, a family home, a sanatorium, an approved school and an Italian prisoner of war camp, finally being demolished in 1958 due in part to bad damage resulting from its misuse and poor maintenance, and the fact that the lead was constantly being nicked from the roof, which let the weather in, aided, as can be seen by the state of the walls of the stable block, by subsidence. The years have rolled slowly by and have recently been very unkind to Pywye, leaving it as a shadow of its former very impressive self. These days, the only remaining traces of its once magnificent building are tucked away in the corner of its old grounds. Partially forgotten, very much neglected, leaving only the stable block standing, which is the real subject of this video. When you can spend a minute or two at the building on your own, it's not impossible to imagine the voices and the daily routine of a large family home over the last 250 years. If the hall is now nothing but a fading memory, its grounds, however, are very much used, filled on a daily basis with the ubiquitous dog walkers and golfers on the golf course kindly provided for the public by the City Council. The old place is well worth a visit. Well, that's it for this time. I'd like to take this time to say a big thank you to Bulwell Bygones for permission to use the pictures of the hall that they used on their Facebook page, and to Zapsplat, who provided free sound effects for the use in my videos. Please feel free to look at the other videos on my channel. If you have any ideas for future topics, then I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this, or indeed any of the others, then please like and subscribe. That way you'll be sure not to miss any of them. And a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated too. Hopefully I'll see you here next time. Until then, have fun and stay safe.